I'm back with another guide on how to attack and defend as Breach, and this time we're on Fracture, and we're gonna start over on A. So from this side we have 4 stuns. The first stun is stunning a hall like this, and back when Fracture was in the map pool last time, this was probably the most commonly used stun for Breach, because Jet and Chamber love to post with an op right here. And the second stun is to stun the stairs area. And the more risky version of this is if you can get behind this box, then you can stun the stairs area, plateau, and below plateau as well. And the third stun is if you have a Jet or a Wraith that wants to satchel or dash into tower, you can also stun like this. And stun number 4 is to stun Sens plus A-Link. And if we're attacking from this side, we have 3 stuns, and the first stun is for Dish. Or if you've gotten all the way up here and you still have your stun and you've cleared this corner, you can also stun like this. Or you can go into this corner and you can stun below plateau, in the middle, or for stairs. And the last stun is to stun A-Link, part of Sens, the outer part of tower right here, and also right here. And if we're attacking from this side, we can flash through this wall right here to push the opera away from this spot. And we can also flash Sens, or we can open the door and flash right here. Or if you have a Jet or a Wraith that wants to dash into tower, we can also flash through this wall. We can also flash through this wall right here. This will flash stairs and below plateau. And we can also flash up here. And you can also flash tower or Sens from the spawn area. And if we're attacking from this side, we can flash through the Dish. And if you make it all the way up here, we can also flash through this wall if you want to flash above plateau and the stairs area. And if you want to flash below plateau, or well, part of below plateau and the stairs area, we can also flash through this box right here. Just make sure you flash through the box and not the wall, because this lineup is very tight. So right now we're through the box. And right now we're through the wall, even though it looks like we're through the box. And right now we're through the box. And if you're attacking from this side, the Afshot can go into tower, and for this one you have to be really close to the left wall, because if you go to the right, the distance between the walls is going to be too great, so right here. And we can also Afshot right here. We can open the door and Afshot into A-Link. And we can Afshot stairs. And we can also Afshot above and below plateau, so what we want to do is Afshot on the upper part of the third layer, so right here. This will force anyone playing below and above plateau to both move. Or if you suspect that someone is playing in this corner, you can also Afshot right here. And if you're attacking from Dish, there aren't really that many Afshots that you can do. You can maybe Afshot A-Link to prevent anyone from helping. And you can also drop down and Afshot through this wall to clear anyone hiding right here. And if you drop as your team is coming out of A main, it might also be worth to Afshot right here to deny the enemy space from which they can play if they're playing backside. In a post plant on A, the post plant will most likely be played from right here or A main, so you can either stun right here when the enemy team is retaking, and you can also stun Sens when the enemy team is retaking, or if you're playing A main, you can also stun on tap. And if your team wants to go aggressive and catch the enemy before they're retaking, you can also stun into A-Link like this. And the same thing goes for tower. If your team wants to go aggressive and catch the enemy before they've started the retake, you can also stun tower like this. If you do happen to play the post plant from drop, you can try to time the stun as the enemy team is retaking through A-Link and stun like this. You can also stun on tap. Or if your teammates want to go aggressive into tower, you can also stun like this. And also A-Link. And if you're playing the post plant from A main and you want to flash anyone tapping the spike, you can flash through this box right here. This will only flash anyone tapping the spike. But if you want to flash backside and also anyone tapping the spike, you can also flash through this wall right here. And if you're playing the post plant from the bomb side, you can flash through this wall, through this wall. And if your team wants to go super aggressive into A-Link before the enemy team has started retaking, you can also flash through this wall. And if you're playing drop, you can flash under drop like this to prevent your teammates from getting flashed. You can also flash Sens and also a link. And the upchuck in a post plant can go through this wall right here if you're playing on the bomb site to force the enemy to go left or right. Or if you're playing from a main and they smoked the spike off, you can also upchuck through this wall right here. And the upchuck from drop can go into a link to delay the enemy retake. And you can also upchuck right here. And you can also upchuck the spike if it's planted right here. If we're attacking B from this side, there are 5 stuns. The first stun is to force the op off the angle right here. And the second stun is to stun this spot and tower. And you can also angle this more to the right to hit this part instead. And the third stun is for canteen. And you can also do it like this. And the fourth stun is for arcade. And the fifth stun is for B-Link. And if you're attacking B from this side, there are 3 stuns, and the first stun is for arcade and tower. And the second one is for the bomb site. And the third one is if you have teammates all the way up by generator already, you can also stun B-Link for them like this. If you're attacking B from this side, you can flash through this wall right here to force the enemy op off the angle inside B main. You can also flash canteen for your teammates from right here. Or if you want to peek it yourself, you can also flash right here. And we can flash the left side of tower and anyone playing right here if we flash on this railing. And if you want to flash the right side instead, we can also flash through this wall. And if you have teammates that made it all the way up here and they want to go into tower, we can also flash right here, backside, B-Link, and also B-Generator. And if we're attacking B from this side, we can flash arcade, and we can flash tower, we can flash B-Generator, or canteen, and we can also flash the bomb site. Just make sure that the flash lands right here so it lands behind the box and doesn't flash any of your teammates coming up B main. And the upchuck from this side can go into B canteen, or it can go through this wall to clear right here, back side, and you can also clear B generator like this. You can also clear B generator from B main, but this one just doesn't go as deep as the one from underground. But if you make it all the way up here, you can also use it from this spot, and this one is just as good. And if we're attacking B from this side, we can also upchuck through this wall to hit arcade. And we can also upchuck B generator from underground. And we can also upchuck B generator from arcade, but again this one just doesn't go as deep and gives the enemy more space to avoid the upchuck. And then we can also upchuck backside right here through this wall. A post plant on B as breach is most likely going to be played from this spot, tower, or B main. So if you're stuck in this spot after planning the spike, you can stun canteen as the enemy team is retaking. And the same thing goes for generator. And if you're playing from tower, you can do the same thing. And if the enemy team has a flank going on and are retaking from B main as well, you can stun like this as well. And if you're playing the post plant from B main, you can stun canteen if your team wants to go aggressive and catch the enemy team before they started the retake. And the same thing goes for B-Link. And you can also stun on tap. And if you're playing the post plant from arcade, you can try to time the stun for the enemy as they're trying to cross from generator onto the bomb site. And you can also stun B-Link if your team wants to go aggressive before the enemy has started the retake. And if you're stuck in this spot in a post plant, you can flash through this wall, through this railing, through this box, or into B-Link. Just make sure you don't team flash anyone with these ones because they are all capable of team flashing. And if you're playing tower, I would really only flash through this railing right here. When Fracture was last in the map pool, I used to call this the God Flash because the flash is so high up that nothing is obstructing the view of the flash, so it really does flash almost everything. And if you're playing the pulse plan from B main, you can flash canteen if your teammates want to go aggressive. And the same thing goes for B link. You can do it from underground right here. Or if you have teammates on the bomb site or maybe in tower, you can also flash really high up on this thing hanging off the wall. This will flash anyone coming out of a canteen, B generator and link, and it'll also make sure that your teammates don't get flashed because it'll be blocked by this wall right here. And if you're playing the pulse plan from arcade, you can also flash canteen, B generator, and also B link. And again, if you're stuck here in a pulse plant, you can aftershock through this box to delay the enemy retake. And if you're playing tower, you can do the same thing. And if you're playing from B main, you can aftershock right here to delay the enemy retake as well. And if you plant it right here, you can also aftershock through this wall. And if you plant it right here and maybe they've smoked the spike, you can also aftershock through the floor like this. And if you're playing the pulse plant from arcade, you can aftershock right here to delay the enemy retake. Right here. And if you plant it right here, you can also aftershock through this wall to hit the spike. If we're defending A, there are 6 stuns. The first stun is for A hall, so like this. And the second one is the same thing but more aggressive, so you stun A hall like this. And the third stun is if you're stuck on the bomb site and the enemy team is executing through A main, you can stun like this. And this is also doable from over here. And stun number 4 is the same thing but for Sens this time. And if you're playing tower and the enemy team is going through a door, you can also stun like this. And a similar stun is also doable from over here. And the last stun is if you want to fight for a dish, you can stun like this. And if you're fighting for A main, you can flash through this wall right here. And also this wall right here. And if you have a teammate that wants to peek through the door or maybe playing in this corner right here, you can also flash through this wall right here. And if you're playing on the bomb site, you can flash through this wall right here. This flash will travel for quite a while, so you have time to get your gun out. Just make sure that you flash high up so it's not blocked by the box in A main. And it's the same thing if you're playing below plateau instead. And if the enemy team is going through sands, we can flash through this wall or this box. And if you're playing outside the bomb site and just on the side right here, you can flash through this wall. Or if the enemy team is going through the door onto sands, you can also flash through this wall. And if you want to fight for the dish area, you can flash through the dish right here or through this wall. And the aftershock can go through this wall right here to delay the enemy execute through A main. Or if you're playing above plateau, you can aftershock right here. Or if you're playing below plateau, you can also aftershock right here. And we can also delay the split through door onto sands by aftershocking right here. And if your teammates want to fight for A hall and really make sure that you take control of this space, we can also aftershock through this wall right here. If you're retaking A, there are 5 stuns. The first stun is to retake sands, so like this. The second stun is if you got control of sands and you want to fight for A main through the door, you can also stun like this. And the third stun is if the enemy team is playing the pulse plant from A main, you can stun like this. And you can also angle it more to the left or more to the right, depending on where you think they're standing. And stun number 4 is for drop, so right here and here. And you can also stun deeper right here. And if you're doing this one, you should have a teammate ready to jump onto drop from right here. And the last stun is to stun the bomb site, and you can choose either to stun the left side right here, or in the middle of the bomb site right here. And the flashes in your retake can go through this wall into sands. And you can do the same thing from tower. And if you want to fight for A main through the door, you can either flash right here, or you can flash right here and open the door, or you can flash right here. And we can also flash drop, back site, or through this wall and box, through A main, or deep A main over here. And the aftershock in a retake can go backside right here, behind this wall and box, into drop right here, A main right here, or deep A main right here, and this one is especially useful if your teammates tap the spike at the same time, so the enemy can't jump spot to check the tap and they actually have to commit to the peek. If you're defending B, there are 9 stuns. The first stun is for B main. And the second stun is if you have a teammate that wants to peek B3 out of the spawn gate, you can stun really aggressive for them like this. Stun number 3 is if you're playing tower and the enemy team is going through arcade, you can stun like this. And stun number 4 is again if your teammates want to peek really aggressive out of the spawn gate, you can stun spawn for them like this. And stun number 5 is again if your teammates want to peek, you can stun from B-link like this. And stun number 6 is stunning this corner plus under tower. Or if you have a teammate in tower that knows someone is playing maybe behind this box or over here, you can also angle it more to the right if they want to peek it. And stun number 7 is if the enemy team is executing through B main, you can stun like this. And stun number 8 is if the enemy team is going B through arcade and you're playing canteen, you can stun like this. And then stun number 9 is if you have a teammate in tower and the enemy team is going up through tower, you can also stun tower for them like this. And if you're defending B, the flashes can go into this corner right here, or deep B main. Or if your teammates want to fight off of the spawn gate, you can also flash through this wall right here. And if you're playing from tower, you can flash under tower like this if the enemy team is going arcade. Or if your teammates want to fight off of the spawn gate into their spawn, you can also flash into this corner, or even deeper over here. If you're playing B-link, you can flash B main like this. And you can also flash under tower right here. Just beware so someone hasn't crossed all the way up here, because you will die if that is the case. And you can also flash right here if you have a teammate playing in tower and they want to peek out. This one is a bit tricky to line up sometimes, but it's definitely doable. And if you're playing from canteen, you can also flash through this wall right here. And if you're defending B, the Avchoks can go right here to delay the enemies execute through B main. And the same thing goes for tower. And if you're playing generator, you can do the same thing, but this one is a bit riskier though, because you do have to show yourself. And if you're playing canteen, you can do the same thing. And if you're focusing on the arcade side of things, if you're playing tower, you can Avchok right here to deny the enemy access to tower from arcade. And if you're playing B generator, you can Avchok right here below tower. And if you're playing canteen, you can Avchok right here if you have a teammate ready to pounce from B generator. If you're retaking B, there are 5 stuns. The first one is for tower. And the second stun is for this box and all the way into this corner. And the third stun is for this spot and under tower. And the fourth stun is if the enemy team is playing from B main, you can stun like this. And the last stun is again if the enemy team is playing B main, you can stun like this. And if you do this as you're tapping the spike, it might force the enemy team to peek, as they might think you're sticking the defuse. And the flashes in your retake can go through this box right here. This will flash this corner and part of B main. And we can also flash B main like this. Or we can flash this wall right here if we want to flash this corner and part of tower. And then we can also flash this corner and under tower. And we can also flash inside tower. Or if they're playing deep B main, we can also flash down here or down here. And the Avchok in a retake can go into this corner, or behind this box, or into this corner. And you can also Avchok into tower to force them to play in this area. Or you can Avchok into tower right here to deny them the opportunity to peek. And you can also Avchok into this corner, under tower, B main. Or if they're playing deep B main, you can also Avchok right here, or right here. Or if you're going through canteen, you can also Avchok right here, or B main like this. Time for some examples. So we're going to start with a stun into A main off of the spawn gate, and this is probably the stun I used the most when Fracture was last in the map pool, so I'll show it a few times. A quick note before the next clip of this stun: if the enemy team has a breach, the chances are he'll try to stun you in A main. So what you can do is wait for the stun a bit farther back, and right after the enemy breach stuns A main, you can walk up and get ready to stun because the enemy thinks you're stunned and as a result aren't fighting for A main, and that's when you can catch them in the open. And next we have a clip of the God Flash in a post plant on B. And in this clip we can see a stun for A main from topside, followed up by an aftershock.
The angel's dead.
And this last clip showcases a few different bits of utility that I've shown throughout this guide, all in one clip.
Smoke's down.
On me. Reloading.
Let's go, guys. Easy.
Yeah, good communicate, guys. Thanks for the game. Have a great night.
And that's it for this one. Sorry about the lack of examples for Fracture, but I only just really started recording my games right before Fracture was removed 1.5 years ago, and I was honestly expecting massive changes to the map since it was gone for so long, and thought I wouldn't be making this guide for at least another week, so I was surprised to see it remain completely unchanged. But thank you so much again for watching, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to leave a comment, a like, and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one.